Hey, what's up, Attraction Marketing Community? We are live. We are live on Facebook, and now we are live on YouTube. So I'm excited. Today, I want to talk to leaders. I want to talk to people who have a team of 10, a team of 100, a team of 1,000. If you are somebody that is struggling with getting your team to duplicate, getting your team to do the work, and you're struggling with developing leaders to take responsibility for their downline, their teams, and if you're sick and tired of just being overworked, that as your team grows, as your business grows, you end up spending more and more time on your business. If that's happening to you, then this is the talk and conversation for you. My name is Ferny Ceballos. I'm co-founder of AttractionMarketing.com. I'm excited to see everybody here. What's up, everybody? People are rolling in. Actually, let me see if we are live. Let me see. Looks like it. Yep, we are live. What's going on? All right. Oh, yeah, you guys can hear me. Cool. What's up, Kimberly? Hello, Thomas. All right. All right, guys. So, as I was saying, the title of today's live is called The Three Things you can, you, the three things leaders can do to grow and scale their teams. Actually, what I'm actually going to cover are four things because I just remembered one more thing that is crucial to being able to scale a network marketing team and organization. In fact, everything I'm going to share with you are actually principles that are can be used for regular companies, multi-million dollar businesses, being able to grow and scale a Fortune 500 company. All of the everything I'm going to share with you are things that real companies do, and it should be something that network marketing businesses do, because ultimately, if you are a leader in network marketing, you initially got into this to create not only financial freedom, to create time freedom, so that you have what has been promised to you, which is passive residual income. The only way you do that is by putting certain systems in place, and certain things in place, and you learning certain skills, so that as your team grows, you don't go crazy. As your team grows, you actually have to, if you're doing it the right way, you're spending less and less time on your business. And so you need a few things in order to make that possible. Now, we have an event coming up this weekend called Digital Networker Live. It's actually an encore broadcast of an event we had 2 months ago in Las Vegas, but that broadcast is going to be emceed personally by me live. And at that event, we actually spent about a day and a half on these type of leadership level topics, in addition to talking about all the different ways you can build a network marketing business using social media, using online strategies. So about half the event was on what's the latest in terms of building your business 100% online on social media, mainly for the beginner and mid-level networker who's focused on recruiting. But then the other half of the event really was for leaders on creating effective onboarding systems to get your new recruits their first results. There to create what we are going to talk about today, which are duplication systems, which I'll get into in just a moment, of what type of systems those look like, to basically be able to automate the functioning and running of your team, and then also team culture. And so, if you are interested in being a part of this weekend's, I was going to say festivities, but it's really an event that's going to teach you these things. You can go to attractionmarketing.com/encore, where you can learn from 6, 7, and 8-figure earners on how to create that level of leverage in a network marketing business. There's a lot of 6-figure earners who are overworked, stressed out, like running around with like a chicken with their head cut off, because they haven't put the systems, they haven't put the leadership in place in order to be able to scale and reclaim their time. And I've also met 7-figure earners who are also in this position, and their problem is 10 times worse than the 6-figure earners, because they have a much bigger business with very little leadership. So again, if you want to learn from people we've coached and mentored who have implemented this and been able to scale their businesses, attractionmarketing.com/encore. And then if you're just a brand new networker, the first half of the event is focused on social media strategies that are being used today for retailing and recruiting into your team. So that being said, let's get into today's training and content. If you guys are ready for this, drop me number one in the chat. I want to know you're engaged and ready. I'm going to be covering something I call duplication systems. And so digital duplication systems is something that we've innovated here at Attraction Marketing because it's all 100% based online, but it's the foundation is rooted in, business principles that have existed for many years. And we by no means are the first people to be talking about this. There's a lot of great leaders in network marketing who understand these fundamentals, but maybe they haven't been able to incorporate it in a more leveraged way, like being able to do it basically online. So awesome. Great, guys. Let's get going. All right. Let's see how we got 43 people. We'll probably be growing as time goes on. So, as always, I like to use my trusty Blackboard here for doing this stuff. Oh wait, my Blackboard's not working. Hold on. I'm gonna do something else. Hang with me. My Blackboard stopped working, but I have a backup. Hopefully the backup works. If not, I will just talk. Let me see. Oh, there we go. I got a backup. Backup works, so we are good to go. All right. Okay, guys. So here's what I wanted to share, and I'll do it this way. So what I'm going to teach on here is what literally every leader needs to have starting, if you have a team of 10 or 20 people, then you need to start thinking and incorporating some of this stuff. And the first thing you do when you have people that you're leading and it's about the size of 20 people, you need to make sure that you have um this first, this number one thing. But overall, what we call these systems are called digital duplication systems. And they're digital because they should be online based. And if you don't have your systems online, then you're making your job a lot harder. But the first system you need when you have a team of about 20 people or so, maybe even 10, you need to have effective onboarding systems. And a lot of people think that onboarding is simply getting somebody signed up and, learning the comp plan and all that stuff. That's part of it. That's not really the most important part. Them learning about your product, yeah, but that's not the most important part. Can anyone guess what is the most important outcome, objective you want from an onboarding system? I'm just curious because again, this is sure onboarding can include about learning about your company, getting signed up, signing all the documents, learning about the product, learning about the science, understanding the comp plan and how you make money. But that really is not all that important. What is the most important thing about onboarding systems, the most important objective or result is get the new rep. I'm just going to call distributor rep. We just rep is an old term, but I'm just going to say rep because it's a three-letter word. Results. Get the new rep results. Specifically, customers. This is the lowest hanging fruit. You can try to get the rep results through, recruiting friends and family into the business itself. The problem is they don't make much money doing that. And if you can get them not only a quick win, but you can actually show them something they can continue doing to continue grow their customer base, then they're immediately making income. They're making active income, which is the most important thing here. When somebody is making income, they're less likely to quit, right? So that's really what we're talking about here is getting them customers. And the time in which you want to do this is in 14 days or less. We have during our digital networker live broadcast that we're doing this weekend, Marina Simone, she actually has a process that she does this in under 10 days that she'll be teaching. And she actually, the great thing about Marina, she actually is creates her onboarding systems and delivers it 100% through, or almost 100% through text messaging, SMS, and it's all automated. When somebody signs up for the business, immediately they start getting here's what to do on day one, here's what to do on day two, here's what to do on day three, et cetera, et cetera. So that in the onboarding system needs to be broken down so that they know what to do on each day. And it's broken down into little bite-sized chunks that they take action on every day. And the outcome at the end should be that the most important outcome is getting customers, getting that quick win. But it's really not just a quick win; it's something they can continue to do and sustain. And so, um, so anyway, so Marina talks about that on Sunday of the event, as far as onboarding systems are concerned. So, uh, all right. So there you go. So yeah, so deliver. You can do this through SMS. You can deliver it through email. I'd say you also set this up in a Facebook group, and really, you don't want to overwhelm your Facebook group with too much training. Really, your Facebook group should primarily be about onboarding. So you can leverage all those three things: email, SMS, and a Facebook group in order to do this. And again, if you want to learn more in detail and what those messages look like, what are those actions that you're asking people to take, then definitely attend this weekend's event at attractionmarketing.com/encore. So then, what's the next piece of a digital of in terms of the next component of digital duplication systems? Well, onboarding, getting somebody to get customers is awesome, but then you also want to turn them into business builders. And so, if somebody is getting customers, that means they're coachable. They're doing what you're asking them to do. You're not going to get 100% take on everybody getting the customers, getting the result if they don't do the work. Um, but those that do the work obviously have qualified for, if they do it right, then that could in and of itself cause them to rank advance, and then they're ready for that next level. And so the next level of digital duplication systems is something called training, having a training platform or training systems. I'm just going to say a training platform. It needs to be online. And this is not a Facebook group. A Facebook group can play a part of this, but if you have all your training, lumped into a Facebook group, one eventually it becomes a hot mess. Eventually it's so overwhelming to the brand new person that just joined your team, and they see all this training that they have to go through, and it actually distracts from the onboarding process. And so now your Facebook group can be used to like organize like group events, like team meetings, training meetings, etc., live stuff. So definitely that. But you don't want to have all your training in a Facebook group. The reason is because, one, it's overwhelming, and the other reason is it makes it difficult to find what you need. So if somebody is ready for a new skill, then it makes it hard for somebody to find what they're looking for. And so if somebody's rank advanced and they're ready to learn a new skill, well, you got to make it easy for them to find that new skill set. You got to make it easy for people to find that new training they have to go through, which would eliminate them reaching out to you through Messenger. Hey, what do I do next? I've already done this. What's next? Hey, I have a question about this. Hey, and then that'll suck up your time, and it'll suck up the time of your leaders. But if they're able to easily find what they need through a training platform that's searchable, that delivers training to them based on the level of success they're at in their business and when the new skills that they need, then that's ultimately what rescues your time as it relates to this. And so the objective here, going back to the objective here with a training platform, needs to be where reps find training when they need it, as they need it. And if it's going to be hard to organize it in a Facebook group, trust me, I have Facebook groups for my the training that I do, and it can be overwhelming. It starts just getting too big. So you just want to make it easy for them to find it and they need it. And the type of training, not everybody needs the same training. Somebody who has a team of 30 people needs different training than somebody that with a team of no people. So, so um, and the other objective, which is really the most important one for you as a leader, is to recoup 90% of your time. Because if you don't do this, whatever time you're currently working on your business, uh, it's gonna exponentially grow as your business grows. And so you don't. So if you want exponential growth in your business, but you don't want but you don't want to have a nightmare for a business, then that's really the objective with these training systems. And there's different ways to design them, but you need some platform separate from your Facebook group that delivers training to people as they need it when they need it. All right, all right. This valuable, guys, because I got two more things. This is valuable. Drop me a number 2 in the chat. Let me know you guys are with me. Um, Rachel says I've been overwhelmed. Absolutely. So you're going to be overwhelmed as a leader if you have to answer every single question that a rep can possibly have, and then you have to answer that same question over and over and over again for every single new rep that hops on. All right. Next thing. Next thing you need as part of your digital duplication strategy. And again, by the way, these training systems, if you want to learn more in detail as to how these are created, one of our students, Beck Sadek, is actually teaching this on Saturday of Digital Networker Live, the event we're having this weekend. She actually is teaching this as I was able to teach her when she had the overwhelm issue. So she was a six-figure earner, overwhelmed by everyone coming to her for everything. She was putting out every fire on behalf of other people. She had very little leadership, etc. So she built these duplication systems and over the course of a year. And so she's actually does a whole segment teaching on what exactly she implemented, how she designed them for her team specifically. But that might give you some ideas as to what you might do and what it might look like. And so she built this platform, and here's the end result for Beck. She is now on pace to have her first $1 million year in commissions in her network marketing business, but she only works 3 to 4 hours per week on her network marketing business. Any extra time she works on her business is like bonus time. She doesn't need it. So imagine 3 to 4 hours per week. It's a 4 hour work week, but she's making $1 million in commission a year. Like that's what digital duplication systems can do for you, specifically these training systems. All right, let's move on. All right, Kyle, where do you set them up? I highly recommend attending this weekend because there's a few options. Um, all right, next one. You need to have leadership duplication systems. So what are leadership duplication systems? This is really about identifying and developing leaders. And so identifying and developing leaders. So not everybody is cut out to be a leader. Not everybody's cut out to be a business builder. Your systems have to be able to support people according to the level of their goals. If somebody is not motivated to build a six-figure business, then you giving them training that's going to take them to building to accomplish building a six-figure business is not going to work, and they're going to quit. You need to give them training according to where they're at in their business, and vice versa. If you have somebody that's highly motivated, that is busting their ass, that's working, you need to be able to provide them training and develop them according to match their goals, to match their level of motivation. And by the way, someone just saying I want to be a six-figure earner doesn't mean they're motivated to be a six-figure earner. They have to demonstrate it through action. So you got to be able to first identify. Uh, by the way, someone's asking a question about this weekend, guys, and so you can learn more about that weekend at attractionmarketing.com/encore. It's actually this weekend. It's virtual. You don't have to go anywhere. And it's free. You just have to submit a $97 deposit to attend, and we'll refund it to you if we confirm that you actually attended the event, because we're trying to get a head count. So we want to know how many people are coming. So just wanted to answer that question real quick. Now, going back to identifying developing leaders. So you want to be able to identify the builder that you see they're on their way to being a six-figure or to doing more than just where they're at. So you got to be able to identify them. And what do you do to once you identify them, you develop them. You work with them in a very specific strategic way. And so your objective here with identifying and developing leaders, what you're trying to accomplish is you essentially the sum of it is you want to duplicate yourself. Those people that you see have the same or greater motivation than you do, you want to be able to like duplicate yourself, duplicate leaders, replace yourself, have people take ownership of their teams. And so you want to be able to learn how to methodically and intentionally turn builders into leaders and have those leaders take ownership of teams. Now, I can't get into right now the details as to how you do this. Again, that's what Beck and other leaders that are training this weekend will cover in more detail. And by the way, every leader that trains at Digital Network Alive, they have their own special sauce to it. They do it all a little differently. But the point in here is you want to be able to set the expectation with your builders that you're going to cultivate into leaders. Hey, this is your new level of responsibility if you want to be a part of my team. And this is what I'm going to ask you to do. This is how you can actually create duplication in your organization. So you work with them one on one. But here's a cool thing. When you start working with those people you identify as leaders one on one, and what your message to them is you have to take ownership of your team, and here is how. Well, all of a sudden, you don't have to work with their team. They're working with their team. And so now there's a whole segment of your team or organization that you no longer are responsible for, but they're still producing volume for you. That's the objective. That's the goal. And so by working one-on-one with a collective set of leaders in a very specific way, you actually save yourself time because the people you're coaching are then taking ownership of the rest of your organization, and the people you're personally responsible for in terms of your own personal recruits, et cetera, is a much smaller group. And of course, you do have team-wide trainings that you'll do once a month, once a week, whatever the frequency, where everybody gets to learn from you and hear from you. But the point is that this is the point where you start gaining your time freedom. At this point you might have gotten some level of financial freedom. You start making money, quite a bit of money, but when you start recouping your time and you have time freedom, that's when things really get awesome. All right. So next thing I want to cover. So in addition to leadership systems, this is a final thing, and it actually uh, is something that goes as part of everything. What's something happened to my Blackboard here? All right. I think my Blackboard crashed, guys. All right, no problem. Technical difficulties. I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing. Here, let me close this. Let me try to reopen it and see if it works. If not, then if it reopens, then we're good. So I think it's reopening. So I think we're good. So I get to, all right, here we go. I get to finish with my Blackboard. All right. The fourth and final thing, mhm, everything's all right. We're professionals here. The fourth and final thing, keep it consistent with color. This is such an uh, important part of everything. And it's kind of like the glue that holds everything together, especially when you start working with leaders. Um, is when you start working with leaders, you're going to set expectations, meaning what you expect of them, but it is also what you expect of others on your team. And so you want to design your team culture, intentionally design. Culture is not perks. Culture is not like you get these prizes if you do this or incentives or anything like that. In Silicon Valley, sometimes silly people describe culture as like, oh yeah, we have nap rooms in our office and we have a pool table and that's the culture we have. It's just a little. We're very relaxed. That's not what we mean by culture. Culture is really what does the group expect of each other. What do you expect of the group, but what do they expect of each other? What standards do they hold each other to? What values do they share? And so you want to be intentional about these values and expectations. And so that's the objective here with culture is simple, is to have unity and adherence Adherence to expectations. This is also you as a leader and what other people in your team, what is tolerated and what is not. That's really it. If you want to define a culture in a very simple, very direct way that's not fluffy, that's what it is. What is tolerated and what is not. And so if you don't intentionally design and reaffirm your culture, none of these systems will work. Everything kind of just falls apart, especially the bigger your team and organization gets. Sometimes that means parting with certain people. So, there's times when, many times in my business, when I've had to say goodbye to people who are very skilled and talented, but did not fit our culture. Just in our company alone, right now, we had somebody exit our company who was very skilled, but they just the culture was no longer there. There were behavioral issues that were causing more problems and were frankly no longer worth dealing with. So fortunately, that person exited themselves, and so that immediately what it did is it brought a lot of relief to everybody else because when somebody that doesn't fit your culture is part of your team, it actually creates stresses out everybody else. And so that's what you need to have. Again, this is a big thing that Beck and other leaders talked about with Digital Networker Live this weekend. Is they're going to talk about culture and leadership, and specifically Andrew McShay, who is actually somebody who's worked with sales teams for almost 20 years. He's actually training and teaching on how to intentionally design your team culture if you want to have a seven-figure business. Jeffrey, next to unity was adherence. Adherence. So, like, I don't want to say obedience, but just adherence. They're adhering to the values. So, one quick way you do that is you actually specifically design and write out your values. But then you obviously, once you do that, you want to make sure that those values stick. Uh, Something's not working here. Hold on. So when teams choose to when a company or a leader writes out their values, not only do you want it to have be on a like on a nice, somewhere that they can see, you want to actually reward and acknowledge people on an ongoing basis when they are adhering with the value. All right. All right. That is it, guys. So again, if you want to learn more about everything I've talked about, digital duplication systems, culture, leadership, team training systems. But also, if you're brand new, so Josie said, hey, you don't even have a team yet. Well, that's fine. That's what the first half of the event is for people that need to grow a team. Um, Digital Networker Live is an event that is all about teaching people how to build their teams 100% online. And so if you want to learn more about how to build your business 100% online, both on the recruiting side from social media, but then also when you're ready to scale your teams, tractionmarketing.com/encore. And I'll see you there. It's this weekend starting Friday afternoon. So Friday afternoon, you don't even have to miss work. We start on Friday afternoon and we go up until about 2 to 3 o'clock on Sunday Pacific time. And it's going to be awesome. So I'll see you guys there and have an amazing day. Thanks, guys.